All right. We have the new moon in Bharani this time, which is in the middle of Aries. And it's May 6th at 12:30 PST. Now, I just want to let you guys know that a lot of people are reaching out to me. It's been really crazy with all these retrograde planets and all this Mars Saturn conjunction causing frustration, and the Mercury retrograde in Aries causing really critical, intense speech. So I've decided to offer discounted readings, just to reach as many people as possible. Because it's just really intense times, and we need some guidance and some help. And so once I upload the video, I'll just have a link that you can click in the description to schedule a reading. Okay, so it's a really incredible new moon, because new moons are really about letting things go and allowing the new thing to come in. Well, this particular constellation, Bharani, is literally like its power is to carry things away and to remove impurities. And the symbol is actually yoni, and you could see there in the diagram, it's at the very end of the ram with 3 stars. So it's kind of like this cosmic birth canal, the initiation of the zodiac, and then it births through the cosmic yoni. And so all the things related to that symbolism are fair game. And you think about that symbol, and to carry things away, well, isn't that the birth canal? Yes. It serves many functions and does many things. And when a woman is on her moon, there's a removal of all the inner linings, and it's getting rid of the old and preparing for the new. Let me see. Mute. It's not muted. Cool. And so all the things related to this birth canal, and it's a new moon as well, like I said. So really incredible time. Definitely, like I said before, not never, but not so good to start things on a new moon, because there's not enough light and awareness to really see the direction you're going. It's more of a time to let things go. And how appropriate with the new moon being in Bharani, to be able to just strip things away and really sit in that centered place of what you think is right, what you think the right direction is for you. So it's a really powerful time for those kind of intentions. And so the god, to give you a more idea of the energy, it's really fascinating. It's just the symbol is the yoni, yet the god is the lord of death, also known as the lord of the ancestors, lord of dharma. And if you heard the word pranayama, it's just breath retention, and that the yama is the restraint or the retention. And so typically this is a sign of judgment. You think of the other symbologies of death, and coming to the judgments at the pearly gates. This is the same kind of energy, where we uphold these strong senses of purpose, of dharma, and of law, and we want to uphold those. And if you think about it, it's the middle of Aries, and Aries is the quintessential leader sign. So this part is where we have the judgments, and can make really rash decisions because we think that we're right, and following our purpose and our dharma. So, this could be kind of an intense, like whole month, really. uh, we have, like I said, the new moon in Bharani, but also Venus is there as well. And Venus is all about our relationships, so it has that same energy of removing the crap in our relationships. And also at the same time, if you see there, we have Mercury retrograde really, really close to the new moon in the constellation Kritika, which sounds like critical, you know. And so we're getting this new moon energy with this Mercury retrograde, and we're able to really, not only like remove things away, but critically pick apart, and analyze all the things that we're focusing on. And Kritika is really about the kind of like the razor's edge of a flame, and it has this ability to purify. And it's one of the main constellations for technological thinking and technological advancements. And so we're going to have this extra boost of Mercury really processing and going deeper into these things that we're wanting to give birth to. And so we want to be sure that what we are wanting to give birth to has, basically doesn't have anything which would get in the way of its growth, or I like to say that which no longer serves. We say a lot of that in prayers. And so, this is an incredible time to really remove the things, and then a few days later, initiate whatever goal or project or plan that you have. Now, what's adding to the intensity here is that, so this is all in Aries, and Mars is the ruler of Aries. So we're going to look at Mars and what it's doing, and that's going to really determine a lot of the direction of the psychology created for this month. And so we have Mars retrograde in Scorpio with Saturn, eighth from of the moon, and anything eighth from anything is the death or rebirth or transformation. And we have the Bharani and the constellation. We have Bharani with the god of death. So it's really time to get rid of some stuff. And it's pretty intense, actually. Because Mars and Saturn, like I said previously, don't get along. Mars wants it like yesterday, and Saturn wants it one step at a time. And so there can be this kind of frustration and wanting to break out of the confines of whatever we feel is holding us back. And whenever Mercury and Mars kind of combine together, it gives this really, really kind of harsh speech sometimes, where we just want to say something for our own desires, and, even can like manipulate and say things in a certain way to be able to get what we want. So with all these intensities with the retrograde planets, there might be this more knee-jerk reaction to just go out and say something or do something, rash or unpredictable. And so that is going to be the main dominating energies for the month, is these retrogrades. And we have Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and Mercury all retrograde. Jupiter's going to go direct first, so we can start, May 9th, start to move forward a little bit more with our prosperity and maybe feeling more hopeful, so at least we have that coming up soon. But basically these retrogrades, what it is the planets are getting closer to the Earth and therefore brighter. So the intensity of these planetary energies increase. So all the things that Saturn represent, which is work and commitments, we feel more intense about the work that we have to do. And Mars is our, passion and desire. So we feel more passion and, more desire towards the things that we want. And the Mercury is our thinking. So we're really like analyzing, going deep into the things that we're looking at. So it's basically in the sky, like I said, it's just like they're that much closer. And so they're just causing us to be, overflowing with energy. And so I've been doing great myself because I've been channeling the energy into creative projects, and I've been having some of the biggest breakthroughs of my life. But people that are not doing physical exercise or meditation are not really channeling the energy somehow. It's just going up into their mind and overly processing, picking things apart, and a little bit more obsessive and internal. So definitely the recommendation is to do the physical exercise or meditation or channel it creatively. It's funny, since the Mars Saturn conjunction, I've been really inspired to go and lift weights, and man, I can't imagine life without it now. I just feel so much more on top of the game. So if you're feeling crazy, just go out and run around the house or something, go play basketball. And if you have a kid, you're like, I can't work, grab your kid and throw them up and down for exercise, just use them as a weight, whatever you got to do to work it out. So the intensity is building, actually. Right on the full moon, we have three major events. We have the full moon. First of all, Mars is going to be at the same degree of the full moon. So with the full moon, we're going to be, passionate about something and feeling really intense and emotional. And then Mars in Scorpio, we're going to feel really dramatic and emotional about it. And then we have Saturn there, kind of like blocking the emotions that we want to feel. Boy, oh boy. It's going to be quite the full moon, quite the energy that's building the next 14 days. And Mercury is actually stationing that day as well. And whenever Mercury starts to go backwards or shifts directions, the time that it's shifting directions is the time where all the warnings of Mercury retrograde occur, of like, don't sign contracts, be careful with your communication, because our intellect, our discernment is going one direction, then it's stopping, and then going the other. So in that transition period, it's hard to know which way we're going. It's hard to know what's around the corner. So that's going to add to some confusion as well. And then also, astronomically, with this retrograde Mars, it's going to be the brightest it has been in 10 years. So it's going to be super just popping in the sky. And, that red, passionate energy or anger, all these things that Mars represents. And so, you're going to want to work it out somehow, channel it somehow through exercise, creativity, all the ways that you can work it out. And just to show you Mars in the sky, this is from earthsky.org. And May 22nd is when Mars comes the closest to the sky, or excuse me, to the Earth. And so just to give you an idea of Mars in Scorpio, it's in this constellation Anuradha, which is the heart of Scorpio. Like, quite literally, its power is devotion, and it creates that. It's the dramatic part of Scorpio, where we feel like, I did this for you, now you should do this for me, and there could be a lot of disappointments and drama that comes in that Scorpio, because you have these expectations. It's this god of friendship. And so it's kind of like the Ten Commandments, like treat others as you want to be treated and don't hurt anybody, but when Mars or any planet really is afflicted in Anuradha, it kind of goes into the negative direction a little bit more. And it is afflicted right now because Saturn is right there with it, causing that seriousness and intensity. And so it becomes, that truthful speech becomes, really piercing words, and, compassion becomes kind of emotional manipulation, and, it's kind of like an eye for an eye situation. So with this Mars being the closest it has been in 10 years in its own sign of Scorpio, in this super dramatic placement, let's just try to be a little bit easy on each other, not do anything too crazy. Because we might feel like we can't go anywhere with this Saturn. Like we can't get our desires met. We're being blocked. It's kind of like rush hour traffic. We want to get there, but we have to go one step at a time. And so I'm going to give you a meditation at the end to do, but really any meditation, physical exercise has been doing wonders for me. So this is the way to work through it. Oh, there's a pretty... Okay. Now it was interesting. I just got this whole idea of really that movie Inside Out. And, the character Fear definitely is representing Saturn. It's Saturn's like the end of the visible planets, and it's like the end of things, and it's like the death of things, the end. And so Saturn, protects us. It wants to be cautious. It wants to go one step at a time. And of course, we know Mars can be that anger and that drive and that passion. And so maybe it could be helpful to visualize these emotions and entities within yourself, and to be able to watch them rather than let them rule the console of what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're eating and all sorts of other things. So I wanted to show you just this really cool video from Earth Sky, just to show you what's happening. So we have Mars coming close up to Saturn, then it turns away and goes back around, and like that. So pretty cool. But you see this dance of Mars and Saturn, and right around this star Antares, and Antares means like rival to Mars. It's also a red color, and it's that part of Scorpio as well where we want to defend and conquer things and gesture. And so we have Saturn in here just going really slow, and being kind of pushed around by Mars. And it definitely will cause a lot of people like wanting to just break out and do things, kind of unpredictable. So meditation, I would say physical exercise is probably the best way, or meditations that are going to, kind of release this frustration, which I'll show you in a moment. Great. Yeah, here we go. So the Kriya that I suggest for this time is Yoni Kriya. And I'm going to post it on the comments as well. And Yogi Bhajan says in this, basically just saying that you could be ridiculously angry, and says even, speak the language that demons speak, and you do this for 5 minutes and you're chill. So this is a good tool to go to if you're freaking out. And again, I'll post that in the comments. And so yeah, again, discounted readings, $77. Click the link in the description. And fantastic. That is, does anybody have any questions so far about everything that I have presented?